Well, hello, hello. This is going to be a little bit of an experiment. So today, Cassidy Williams and I are going to be pair coding, building some things together. Cassidy does not know what we're going to be building, so that's going to be a surprise, and we're going to do all the things to try to get it up and running. We'll give it a couple minutes here. Should probably tweet about it. Okay. All right. We are going live. We are going live. Let's do this. All right, cool. So, this is my first time using something like Restream, which is, I got to admit, is very cool. It is pretty awesome, but it's my first time. And that means, I wonder if there's like a link I can send to tweet. Right. I'm excited to show you what we have in store. I am also excited to see how far we can take this because we're going to be doing quite a lot of this on the fly. But I think that's going to be fun. I think we're going to get some design in the code, maybe. Oh, that's a surprise. Alrighty. One thing I can show you is that recently our very own Michael at Convex has just released fresh off the press an example repo of using auth.js and or NextAuth, formerly known as NextAuth, with Convex, and it's very cool. I highly recommend if you're interested in anything like this to check it out. A little bit of me. I discovered Convex about 3 or 4 months ago when I was building something with Clerk, and there was a few options that were part of the onboarding process for Clerk, and one of them was Firebase and Supabase, and then Convex. And I love to try new things, new technology, so I was immediately interested in giving it a go. So I chose Convex and I started to explore the docs and kind of learn a little bit more about what it was. And the more I was reading, the deeper I got into building and checking out the docs, the more I was realizing that this was something I'd been looking for a long time. I was actually right at the point of building this project where I was making decisions about what backend I needed to use. And prior to Convex, I would basically felt like I had to start from scratch in terms of making a decision for what's going to be best for this project. Is it going to be Firebase? Is it going to be just rolling my own Postgres? I feel like sometimes Postgres and MySQL are like the spreadsheets of the app building world, where everything is kind of competing with those things and they solve a broad set of problems, but it can come with a lot of overhead. There's 550,000 systems that host it in different ways that I have to educate myself on. So anyway, when I came across Convex, it was like such a breath of fresh air. And every time I think about building a new project now, it's I really could only think about building it with Convex. And I know this is funny coming from me because I work here now, but that's why I work here now. So when I discovered Convex, it was like blowing my mind, and I reached out to the founders and the team, and I was reading about the team, and I was like, this is insane. Like, how can I help more people, more developers in the world just know about this, like learn that this exists, because I promise it is going to solve so many headaches and so many problems. And I was lucky enough to end up getting a job here, which was truly born out of my passion for the product. And it's been a lot of fun. And so okay, Cassidy's here. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to see if there's a way for me to, oh, cool. Boop.
Hey,
Hey, what's up, Cassidy? How are
hello.
you?
I'm good. Sorry for running a little late. I had an
Hey,
intense call.
it's okay. It's okay. I hope this call is less intense, more
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
I mean, intense can be fun too, but like back to back.
It's yeah, we get through it. It's fine.
Yeah, somehow we manage. This is my first time using Restream, and like you said, it's pretty cool.
It's really
It's
cool. It's
it's
really, really
very
cool.
good.
My one complaint is canceling an account is so annoying. But besides that, the actual like using it is great. And that being said, I'm going to connect my Twitch to this and bring some people over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is very very cool. I like to think. So I signed up for Restream, and you told me that like it's awesome, except it could be hard to cancel. So I like to think that I just YOLO'd it, and now I'm like obligated to do a lot more live streams. Like I got to make use of it
Yeah.
if we have it, and so it was a forcing function for me to say like, okay, well we have this thing. I apparently can't get out of it, and so I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it exists. And I gotta say, it's like,
It's it's nice. I
yeah.
actually ran a conference called Devs for Ukraine a couple of years ago where I was benefiting Ukraine, and it was really cool to run the entire conference in Restream because you can upload videos that are pre-recorded. You can also do live videos. It was really good at doing the combination of all the things.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Doesn't seem like, I feel like they've made it very simple for something that is obviously not a very simple product, which is always,
Right.
I think, like the hallmark of really great software and engineers and designers. When, its simplicity belies what's going on under the hood, I can only imagine.
Right, exactly. And I there's a lot of power in the simplicity and the more you dive into it, the more you're like, it can do anything. But yeah, you gotta use it.
Yeah, there was an option for me to upload or connect a deck. I was like, oh, maybe I should make some slides.
I should do this.
Yeah, I should do this. I want to let you know I've had historically issues with my microphone. So if things start to sound like funky, just,
Cool.
put your hand up, like raise the flag, let me know, and then I'll unplug it and I replug it back in. And that seems to work every time. So beats me.
Yeah, no, it sounds crispy so far.
Ooh, crispy. I like that. So you have little to no idea what we're going to be building today.
Yes. And
Okay.
that sounds exciting and scary, but mostly exciting.
Hey, it's scary for both of us because, as I was saying in my drawn out intro, I'm new here and I've only discovered Convex a couple months ago. And so I've been learning on the fly, and today's going to be a little bit more of that. But I definitely want to show some of the things that like really piqued my interest early on, like the things that I was like, wait, like what? That is amazing. And so we can definitely do that. For everybody watching, I wanted to create a keyboard designer today. And the idea was that we could edit keyboard layouts. There is that website, keyboardlayouteditor.com. I love
Yeah.
that. So I wanted to create a keyboard designer, and my vision for it was to have it like built in 3D and 3JS. And so I was trying to like see like, is this insane? Like, how far could we possibly do that in a couple hours? So last night at about 12 o'clock, I was like, okay, this probably isn't the project to do in 2 hours. But I did make some progress, so I'll share that. I'll share that with you later because it's pretty cool. Yeah, that was fun.
I'm
Maybe it
so
was just
curious about it. Also, I think my voice is echoing into your microphone.
okay. One sec.
Is this the unplugging and
Supposed to
replugging?
have supposed to have all that echo, fancy echo stuff, but this is what I can do. I come prepared.
Wow.
There we go.
Also, man, the way you said supposed to have was so Canadian. That was
What did
so
I say?
you said like supposed to have, like you emphasized the
Supposed
oh.
it's supposed to. It's quite, yeah. I don't recognize my own Canadianisms or Canadiana until I'm with like international teammates, and it starts as close as like New York City and Boston, and I suddenly become hyper aware of my Canadian words like process. What do you say?
It's process.
Process. Yeah, that's right. I was
Process.
in
Yeah.
Washington once and I said process and everybody enjoyed that. Har, 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 har.
Well, process is I think of that more as like a Britishism, where it's like, oh yes, the process. But I'm also not British, so
This is the
there you
process,
go.
darling. Yes. Wonderful. So, yeah, one moment. There we go. Okay. So, without further ado,
Oh no, we're going to get kicked off the internet.
it's okay if my dad's British.
Oh, okay, nice. You're
Yeah.
allowed. Phew.
Okay, so this is what I was thinking for today. Drum roll. It's called
Also, it's
work.
very small, so if you could zoom in, that would be ideal. Wow. Oh.
This is work with friends, and so the idea is that for all of us lonely folk who have to work at home or in coffee shops, this is basically like it's like one of those like come meet me at the park with your dog, but meet me at my house with your computer.
I like that.
And then, and so I was thinking we could come up with a couple ideas for what type of functionality makes sense. Like the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, what's the coffee situation? Who's bringing that? Where's that going to come from? Like, is that going to be
Snacks
a communal
overall.
thing? Snacks overall. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Like you can't just show up empty-handed, right? It's like you're going to somebody's house. You got to come with some coffee. I guess there would be like capacity constraints
Right.
and yeah, I
Wi-Fi
mean,
speeds, maybe?
yeah, like yeah, how good on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can't rate your own. Only others can rate your internet, and they're anonymous, so you can be truthful.
Yeah. There's
So
so
yeah,
many I normally stream on Thursdays and not Tuesdays. So when people are just like, "What's happening? Why did I get a stream notification? What day is it?" Hello, everybody.
surprise!
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're hanging out.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And so hopefully we can do a few more of these. But just to kick it off, I have okay. So I was thinking we could like block out the big bits of it, and we'll just take it from there. We're just winging it, everybody. So the idea is that we have space. I guess we have people, and people would be people who have space. who they want to hang out. Could be a
Yeah.
kitchen, could be an attic like me. I'm in my attic. It could be the living room with sufficient seating. And so people have spaces.
Yeah,
And then
working at
I've,
tables versus hanging out on a couch or something.
yeah, and I mean, that can make a big difference. Like I like to work out or work on from a couch, but it depends on the couch. Like I can't,
Mm.
it's gotta be, it's gotta be supportive. Otherwise I have a hard time because I'm getting older and even things like sitting on couches can be problematic.
It's true. I love working on a couch, but if I do it for like 3 days in a row, I'm like, why does my back hurt?
Yeah, why am I? Yeah, why is it like this? Why am I like this? Okay, so spaces are a thing. This is TL Draw, by the way, which is actually I figured out this cool thing that I can zoom in. TL Draw. If you haven't heard of it, there it is. Whoop. Does that zoom in on your screen too?
It does.
Neat. So TL Draw is open source draw kind of anything. It's very cool.
It's so I sometimes see their Twitter account where I'm just like, how do they do that? Like some of it is so wild where have you seen how they implemented pins between objects?
Yeah, and like the great lengths and the depths. Steve, who's the founder, I think there's some others on the team now. Go to. He spent. I watched him tweet for like 3 months about getting arrows to work like perfectly. Like these, like all the math that's involved with making this kind of thing happen.
Oh my gosh.
I was a big admirer of that. In fact, I had the same questions. I was like, how does any of this work? And probably about more than a year and a half ago or so, it kind of inspired me to see what I could figure out about it. And so I built this little app called Design Studio that uses the canvas and like draws shapes and stuff on it. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, cool. Okay. I can scratch the surface on this.
I love the graphic sides of things, but oh my word, it is so much math. Like it's
So much
it's
math.
very fun, but I always whenever I do something even close to it, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't had to think in this particular way and since school in so long."
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the being really good at computer graphics is like years of getting better and better at researching other people's math and like
Yeah, and
figuring
like
out,
linear algebra.
yeah. And then only after like 10 years can you start to put together your own. Maybe that's just me. But that would be me. The skill I would be working on is like finding graphics papers and understanding when, where, and how to apply that to whatever it is I'm trying to do. But
I
yeah, graphic
I used
stuff.
to get so into that where I would read it and like half the time I'd be just like, "I don't even know what I just read." Like this like some of them I'm just like, "Okay, I could figure out how to implement this, that, and the other." And then others I'm like, "How?
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah. Start again. It's like you've read the whole thing, and then it's one of those things where your brain's like, wait, what?
There's just like a wire that hasn't fully connected. I'm like, it's okay if it doesn't.
Food, snacks, other things.
Mm.
All right. So let me talk this out here. So we want to work with friends. We have friends or people, usually, not always.
You never know.
It's usually people who have spaces, though. Dogs and pets and things don't often have spaces available. So there are people who have spaces who would like post their space to say like, hey, it's available this like Monday and Wednesday. Oh yeah, okay.
Mm.
So there's like availability
Oh
is
yeah,
a thing.
availability is probably key. You don't want people just showing up.
Yeah, that feels important.
Um,
Availability.
and outside of people having spaces, it might be people also have their own availability where like they might I don't know if we want to get into like having a profile as a person who goes to places or if we just want to have a profile as someone who hosts spaces.
It's a good question. I feel like the first layer is people who host, who have
Agree.
space. The
Yeah.
second layer, for sure, I feel like naturally lends itself to being like attendees, like
Yeah.
coworkers, who I could see in the future that type of thing being really valuable if those people want to go to like a new space and at least they have some kind of reputation.
Right.
They're 5 out of 5 and they've done this 50 times or something. You're a lot more comfortable than like you kind of want to know the person. So that's kind of, there's an interesting
Right.
part about that too. Is it like private, closed? Maybe that's up to you because maybe your space like isn't necessarily your house, but
Right.
it's like your co-working apartment that you rented or something.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit less sensitive. Okay, availability. There's a funny dot going on there. Okay, availability is a thing. Capacity is a thing. Food, snacks, Wi-Fi. I
Yeah,
think there's like,
Wi-Fi.
yeah, like setup.
Yeah, so and maybe it's just like perks. Maybe it's a whole category of perks, and that could count as food, snacks, Wi-Fi, all of it
Yeah,
together.
yeah. So let's do like perks, food, snacks, super fast Wi-Fi, that
Mm.
kind of thing. That works. Okay, and so people are going to have to be able to log in, and I don't think this can really be done without some kind of identification.
Yeah, we should have
So
that.
it feels like step one. So that's good. Okay, and then there's spaces, there's perks, capacity, availability. Is any of this painting a picture yet?
I have a picture. It's a little blurry, but it exists.
Same,
Yeah.
same. I, for better or for worse, I often design in code, moving things around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Having a diagram like this is so helpful at the beginning because normally I just start building and I'm like, "Oh, I should have thought of this." And so this is
same.
good.
Yeah, this is like if I have time or I'm particularly, I don't know, motivated to do like design. Like I love to design. I love to bust open Figma and like put some stuff down. But I have more fun coding, and so I was like, well, I could do both at once. It almost never would pass the sniff test at like a with like a proper designer at a
Right.
real company. But for what I build, it's usually good enough to start. Like I like the idea that I could like build a thing that kind of works more or less, and then I always like to imagine that like I could just hire a designer after to take that and
Right.
make it beautiful.
Yeah. And I think like this some idea from COVID days. This is some idea for all of the shy people in the world.
Hmm.
We wanna get people working together a little more. There's still a lot of remote work happening and people get lonely.
Tons. Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
For sure. I would definitely use this. There's a lot of people around in my city that I know work from home that I really like. That would be pretty fun, like 1 day a week or 2 days a week to go
Right.
and meet up one way or the other. And we simply don't because there's so much overhead. Honestly, like it doesn't sound like a lot, but the activation energy to like open my phone and like find people and like text them and then to like negotiate where and when, I'm just like, hey, forget it.
Yeah. We
But
actually
if
do this with our friends sometimes where we call it work from songs because 'cause we're the Songhouse last name. Anyway, we have, like, 5 group texts that we occasionally ping where we say, like, "Do you wanna WFS, work from songs on Friday?" And sometimes we have, like, 6 people show up, sometimes it's maybe, like, 1, but it's nice to have that kind of thing, but something like this would be useful to actually be able to structure things instead of just messaging, like, 5 group chats and see who shows up.
Yeah, for sure. That would be awesome. And then you could prepare your perks as well. You
Yeah,
could be like,
exactly.
who's how much, how much popcorn do I
Who's
need?
who's bringing what?
Who, yeah,
Hmm,
whom is bringing
whomst.
what? Whomst.
Yeah. And hey, Josh is right. The space needs boba. I do think that is one of the key perks. And that is one that I actually require, where I'm just like, you can work from my home as long as someone brings boba.
Oh, there's a whole whack of comments here. I'm sorry,
Woo.
everybody. I told
It's
you I'm
okay.
new. This is so cool. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm reading the comments on like the back end of Restream stuff.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Boba, yeah. So, okay, we'll get
Usually
into it
people
real
just
soon.
trolling, but you know.
But yeah, I was like, okay, close that. My boba experience is that the first time I ever had it was like 3 weeks ago in the Convex offices in San Francisco. I didn't know what it was. And then they were doing like a boba Friday or something. And I was like, boba? What?
I'm I am
Yeah.
so shooketh right now. Mostly
Yes.
because I think at least a third of my body is boba at this point. Like I have it all the time. So that's amazing. What did you think? What were your thoughts?
I loved it. I thought it was great. The idea reminds me of this. There's this sugary drink in the 90s called Orbits that had little floaty bits in it. Didn't
Mm.
I loved it. It didn't take off. Ironically.
Wow, I'm
But
looking I'm looking at orbits. I remember this.
there was a flash in the pan in like, I don't know, 97, 98, something like that. And I thought it was amazing. I loved it. And so Boba felt like it was bringing me back a little bit and was like the adult version where, you know, I don't have to walk around being seen eating my orbits.
Man, I totally forgot that existed. That like unlocked something in my brain as I looked at the picture of it. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that something? And then like overnight, it was gone.
Man.
That was
Well,
it.
and now Orbitz is a hotel website. So there you go.
That's right. I wonder how much they got for the domain back in.
Yeah. When I find out how this is totally as an aside, people spend so much money on domain names. It's I was talking with a startup where they spent like a significant amount of their investment money on their domain name, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And granted, it was like a common word. I'm trying not to dox. It was a common word and a very short domain name. But oh my word, I think they spent $1 million on this domain name. Granted,
Yeah.
the startup is now doing well, but oh my gosh,
I know
it's
it's
mind
a
blowing.
lot. It's a lot to like lay out when, especially when it's that a big part of your bank account. I think the way that, depending on what the domain is, I feel like the way that it's justified is by saying like, well, now this is an asset we own that we can always
Right,
sell
that's
if we
true.
need
You could
to. Like
probably
it
sell it
just,
because it's a good word.
yeah. Assuming it's not like hyper branded, or if it's like a dictionary word or something, then you're probably good. At least in terms of like recouping your investment on that if you needed to. At least
Right.
that's how I would be
That's
able
a
to
good that
stomach.
that's a great way of thinking about it. And it also honestly is a really good marketing budget too, because you have like a really solid brand.
Are .coms still the top dog?
I think dot coms are pretty strong. IOs are pretty heavy. I think for dev tools, .dev is pretty solid. Good job, Convex. I think that was a good one. Um, but yeah, I do think I do think that .com is still king.
Yeah, yeah. I wish it weren't, but I also feel like it is.
It just is. Yeah.
I think my like my stack rank is like .com, .io, maybe .dev depending on the product, and then
Yeah.
.app, things like that.
Dot
Or
app.
if I can't get any of that, it'll be like get houserhq.com
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something.
Yeah, I do like .co's. I have .co has like a special place in my heart. My website is a .co, but I think that's just because the people there seem nice. I met them at a conference once, and I was like, "Wow, I'm going to get .co's," and I've only done one, but it's my personal website. So.
You met the .co people?
Yeah, go.co. They like they sponsored like a cool booth at like Grace Hopper, the Grace Hopper conference, and like South by Southwest. Nice people. Yeah, and so as a result, I like their domain name. This
Yeah,
is
that's
this
fair.
is how DevRel works, I guess.
And it's like .com Junior. Like .co is pretty solid, I think, because many people who are not in the tech industry wouldn't bat an eye at that. It's .com as far as they're concerned, assuming
Right.
they go .co.
Yeah,
Co.
go.co.
Go.co. I'm always keeping an eye on like those super short TLDs too. So like my name is
Mm.
like Tom, so T.om would be sweet.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that would be a cool one.
That would be that would be wild. Okay, let's.
We got super off track. We're back.
Yeah, you know what? The track is where we lay it.
Yeah.
That's it. So here's what I have for you. I have put together.
Also, this is so tiny.
Yeah. I'm gonna big up
Mm.
it here. Big ups. Boop.
Well,
Okay, so
or like if the
this
window could be bigger. I feel like I see more of your wallpaper than the window itself. That's good enough
learning
for now. Eh.
for now. How do I can't make it bigger? Okay, so you can clone this repo. I'll put it in the I'll put it in the chat there. Why not? Uh, I got this going, and so I feel like this probably should work fairly well.
It should. We'll
It
see.
should. It should. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
All right, so I'm gonna follow along here too, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm cloning this to my machine as we speak.
Okay, and then we'll go work.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so I think we're pretty good to start with just installing on npm I.
And then it's just done. It just
So
works. That's the power of convex. All you
that's
do is
it.
clone repositories, and then the
That's
entire
it.
thing just
And your
is.
bank account is just cha-ching,
Whew,
cha-ching, cha-ching. You're getting
cha-ching.
paid. You're getting paid. All right, our next step. So, our next step would be to. Oh, actually, what I was going to do for you was invite you to this
Oh yes.
convex team so that we can work in the same database.
I would love that because I have like poked around with convex and stuff, and I've been just like, ooh, I'll use it for this project or for that project, but I haven't actually, I haven't gone deep on it, and so I'm very curious to see how you structured it and everything.
Yeah. Let's check it out. Can I type your email address here, or do you want me to take it off screen?
Let's take it off screen just in case. You
Okay.
know.
Yeah, once on the internet, always on the internet.
Exactly.
Okay, that is should hit your inbox. I'm also going to send nice package manager. Yeah, noodle parmesan milkshake. That's more. Yeah, that's right. NPM node package manager. It installs think there's probably millions of packages now. It installs all
Too
the
many.
amazing JS and TypeScript packages that other people have written and kindly put back into the ecosystem so that we can use them. Okay.
Tom does not like noodle parmesan milkshake. Don't knock it till you try it. Oh my word. Got a bunch of trolls in the chat today.
I'm
AKA
go-
people who I'm friends with, but beat them up.
yeah, not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I have cloned it on my machine as well, so I can follow along.
Okay, cool. I need to send you the environment file so that you don't have to generate all of this stuff.
Would be great.
So I shall do that. I'm just going to send it
Discord
illegally
DM.
in
Yeah,
Discord.
that's easy enough.
Yeah. That should do it.
Ooh, what large keys? Okay, one second. Okay. Now that Discord has Markdown in the DMs, if you send like a code comment with that starts with a hash, it just is a giant heading because it's an H1. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
It works.
Okay.
Did you invite me to resend?
Yes.
Okay. I had an email saying like a team has invited you to resend, and I feel like I need to give them feedback because I don't know what team invited me. Um, and it like literally doesn't say anything unless you actually just do it. So anyway,
Yeah,
never mind.
I did that because you're only allowed to send test emails to like your own account until you verify your domain. And I
Okay.
wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that prior to, or if you wanted to send like login emails or whatever to your email, that it would have to be there. You don't have to do anything with that right now. Maybe we are not going to need it. Okay, so this npx convex dev, once I think you will have to accept the convex invite and all that.
Oh, I thought I did, but I will check.
You
Oh, I didn't yet. Okay, here I am.
you might, and then an existing
Accepting a
project.
team on Convex is such a delightful experience. I wish I had my screen shared. It looks like you're putting a VHS into like a little TV. That's
Yes,
awesome.
yes, yeah. There's a whole retro VHS
That's fantastic.
thing going on. Yeah, some of the swag that we have is like literally old VHS with a convex like case on it. It's amazing.
Wow, that is so fun. Okay, cool. I am in on all the things. What is VHS? I am not an old. How dare you? How dare you, sir? I know you're a sir because I know who you are. How dare you?
It's like Betamax.
Yeah, it's like a laser disc.
Yeah, yeah. It's a mix between Betamax and a Laserdisc and a mini disc.
Oh my gosh.
So if you run Convex, does it have you log in or anything like that? Because at some point, the idea is that you can do npx convex dev once.
That would be sick. Let me try. So I do npx convex.
Npx convex space
Oh,
dev.
dev. Got it. Got it. I almost did a colon, and that would have been disastrous. Okay. Mini discs are still in use. Oh my gosh. Find any PA system doing a recording. You bet they'll be doing a mini disc recording. That is wild. Oh my word.
All right. Good for them. Should have invested in mini disc back in the 90s.
It's not too late. Okay. Wow, that was actually a very pleasant CLI login experience.
Oh,
I sound
excellent.
like such a shill, but I just haven't done this before. It's nice.
No, that's great. Yeah, if there's anything weird or rough, like let me know so I can take notes here.
Yeah. And so because I've cloned this project and it exists, I'm configuring an existing project, not a new project, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So we'll configure an existing project because that's the convex project that I've invited you to so that's the convex database and backend, and we can configure an existing one called work with friends.
Wow, that is a delightful CLI experience. I think CLIs are a very like under-designed thing in dev tools, and so when I see a good one, man, that makes me happy. That is
Yeah,
really nice.
I think I had this dream that we could have like the entire onboarding experience just through like a really thoughtfully constructed CLI,
Ooh.
like the tutorial, like you just stay in the terminal, but it's like better than going through the dashboard or something like that.
Yeah,
It's a dream I have
that
because
that would
I
be
agree,
amazing.
like you feel powerful in the
Right.
command line, right? Like, and when things work, you're like, I am
Like
literally a hacker.
I am going to hack into the mainframe.
Yeah, right now in this cafe. Okay, so at this point, you should be able to do npm run dev.
Okay, cool. It is finishing loading some things, and then I will copy you.
Ah, yes.
Japan banned floppy disks? No way. Why? Banned? Like, is it the kind of thing where you could get in trouble for owning one?
So
I
strange.
have not heard that.
There must be a good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fascinating. I mean,
Maybe.
maybe it reduce litter, but I like seeing them to
Mm.
like put on a Christmas tree or something. Oh, a lot of government stuff was still using it. They did it to force modernization. I see. That makes sense. That makes sense. They were required to use it in some government procedures. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
I was wondering if because it like floppy disk is just such a misnomer. Like
Mm,
they're not
because
floppy.
it's not because it is
The
a solid.
earlier
The
ones were.
early
Yeah.
early ones are actually. Oh my gosh.
The biggies. The biggies.
While mine is loading, I have a fun story about really old computers. So, you know Grace Hopper, like the famous programmer,
Hmm.
uh, gal who led, or gal, captain general, where or admiral, she was an admiral who led the initiative for building COBOL and all kinds of stuff, one of the
Hmm.
first computer people. Anyway, so she was one of the first people to define what a computer bug was because it was an actual physical bug that like got into these big computers, and that is why they are called bugs to this day. At a lot of computer science buildings around at least the US universities, you'll see like moths because a moth was the first computer bug. There's a very fun story where she did not want to work one day. And so she was just like, what if I pulled a prank? So she went to a prank store and got a bunch of fake like cockroaches and stuff and then just like put it in the computer and it was going to be like, oh no, the computer has bugs, haha. And she was just like, maybe I'll get like a day off of work, this would be fun, because I'll just like clean it up and go or something like that. But it turns out that messed up the computer really bad because it like as they were vacuuming out all of the fake cockroaches, it like messed with the static cling because static actually mattered in all of these really old systems. And so her entire like research group ended up having 2 weeks off of work.
Oh, well, there you go.
She got what she wanted.
That's
The
right.
end.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that I remember that story that the bug. Yeah, and it was a moth, right?
Yeah.
Flying in the machine.
We've really advanced. Okay. Coding. So when it says convex functions ready, do you just leave it? Or
Yes.
do you Control C or something. Okay.
No, you leave it. So what's running there when it says convex functions ready is that it's actually there is a local convex client that is running that's compiling your TypeScript, which exists in this convex folder in your project.
Okay.
So you write these functions. So here's an example called my functions.
Genius.
And so this is a mutation. These are all functions. Functions are queries, mutations are actions. And those get compiled from by this little guy that's running on your computer. Every time there's a change, it'll recompile it into from TypeScript into JavaScript and actually deploy it onto your convex instance, which lives elsewhere, lives in our infrastructure. And
Got it.
then what happens with those functions is that when you call them, they are actually existing as code on that computer somewhere else, right on the same machine as your database. And so when you call that your API or your function or whatever it is, it actually executes. It uses a V8 engine on those machines, literally, yeah, in the
In
mainframe.
the
In the
mainframe.
mainframe. And so it executes right there. It just like knocks on the door and is like, "Can I have some of that?"
Got it.
And yeah, and so every time you make a change, that's exactly what's happening. So you can still write in TypeScript, and it will do what it needs to do, and lives alongside your data, so that it's super fast, and you get there's all kinds of highly technical things that some of them I'm still wrapping my head around, but you get like perfect consistency and caching and everything. And there's like tons of upside to having your code operate right next to the database. And so that's what's happening there. This is okay. So yours is up and running as well, yeah?
Yes, I have it
Okay.
going.
So I'm going to open the app, and what we should be able to. I'm gonna embiggen this.
I also got unable to connect, so that's good.
Oh, we're having network connectivity issues. Oh, I closed
Oh, that
my
would do it.
my functions. Yeah, that would do it. So right now, so run dev is actually running, I think, two commands in parallel. So it's doing
Yeah.
like the npm run all, which is basically just running next and convex in the same with the same command. So this should
Cool.
be. Oh yeah, I need to
I'm
copy my own
also
environment
missing that.
environment file over. So your environment file should be env.local. And what I'm going to do is copy over my environment file to this project, which is what I need to do. Boom.
Okay.
Right.
Nice. It works.
There we go. Works on your machine?
Works on my machine, which means it
Okay,
works
hey.
everywhere.
Yeah, exact. Can we it works on two machines?
Watch out, world.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so at this point, you should be able to sign in using. I'm already signed in here, so either using GitHub or your own email. Now, this is where don't use your email because that goes through resend, and you have to be like, I think, a member on the team
That's fine.
because
I've logged in with GitHub.
GitHub it up, and then this is where like some of the cool stuff I can show. All right, so just to give like a this is the thing that I kind of like really got my attention when I first discovered convex. So here is, so these numbers right now are stored in the convex database. So if I go down,
Are they significant?
no,
Okay. I was going to say, like, I almost want to put in like the Lost numbers. Did you ever watch Lost?
oh yeah,
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Those
oh
numbers will
yeah.
always be in my brain.
Let's see if I can open this up. So these numbers exist in here, and I don't know which one corresponds to which. Is there any single digit? Yeah, there's an 8. So if I take this 8 and I can turn it into like 12. So when I just turn it, change it in the, uh, maybe that was the wrong 8. Here we go. 12. See, I just,
Wow, it changed on mine.
yeah, I just changed. Yeah, so I changed it in the database, which means any kind of client that's writing to the database, if your app can just be subscribed, it's literally like your local React state, like through Redux or something, except not just like on the client side. So it's effectively like a Redux keeping state across the world, and you sort of access it the same way in React. So you just say like, instead of saying set state or use state, if you use the convex state instead, you get all this stuff for free. So if you were to start changing, if you were to start changing these numbers or adding numbers, they will change on in my client as well. So another quick example of this is that I have created a space called Tom's Attic. This was just like, this is our work with friends space. So here's Tom's Attic. And if I go into the database, and again, I can do this either in this dashboard or like you could be doing it on your phone or whatever. I'm going to change it from Tom's Attic to Tom's Basement. Both awesome places. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it's true. So when I save this, my app is going to update instantly.
Wow.
And
That's
so now,
cool.
yeah. And so like when people, when our friends are signing up for friends with work with friends, friends with spaces, friends with benefits, like does that actually work? Friends Benny. So when people are actually like signing up for this, we could just be sitting there like watching the app or the website, and like it's rolling in, and things are is happening, all of this is happening in real time and basically for free. So it's like you get these subscriptions to the database for free, which is the thing that I was like, oh my god, it just saves so much overhead and like back end work.
Yeah, that's sick. So on my end, I
Yep.
see nothing in these tables. Is it because I haven't added certain keys, or is it because I'm not you? Why can't I see the numbers in a table?
Aha. So can you click on the little hamburger beside spaces?
Spaces.
Oh,
There is no hamburger.
I'm looking at my screen. Okay, so you see nothing in here. Maybe I need to let me see if I have to like grant you access to this project or
Nice.
something like
I so
that.
that's the thing. I see the project. I see work with friends. I see that I'm on your team. And if you want, I could share my screen. But I do not see any documents. There's no documents in any of the tables.
Okay, let me check.
That's wild though that it's so connected. That's really interesting. It's like very opinionated, but in a good way. I like the opinion.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a very common pattern that people are constantly reinventing, and then it comes with all of this inherent like maintenance and risk and backups and consistency.
Mm.
And so like if your app ends up being successful and you have dozens or hundreds or thousands of concurrent reads and writes, that is all guaranteed by the convex backend, and you don't have to do anything. Yeah, if you can share your settings.
Happy to. Okay, 1 second. Let me make sure I don't just have the keys up because I will. Okay, cool. I'm going to share my screen. It is this side, that one, sharing. Okay, there it is. So I have been given access to your team, which has the work with friends. It has production development preview. And now I am here looking at the stuff.
Oh yeah, I think the it could be that the development environments are individual. So if you go back to your data,
Back to my data. Got it.
yeah, and then spaces and numbers is all empty. Okay. I think it's because in development, I might be getting messages here in Slack being like, it's in development.
Ah,
Ah! But that's okay.
okay.
We're here to figure it out.
Yeah, no, that's fun. Should I have environment variables here? Could that be it?
Not in here, no.
Okay.
Those will have. If I've already set those on the on this project.
Right, like they're in the project itself locally.
Yeah.
Got it.
And on convex, and so defaults
Because I do
variables.
have this working where I can zoom in on it. I do have this working where as you changed like it to Tom's basement and changed the numbers, it worked.
Yeah. Okay. Let
So
me
I'm
see.
I'm pointing at your dev environment and not my little dev space. And it does say Cassidy Williams's dev deployment at the top here.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So I wonder.
It makes sense. I just don't know what to do, but
Yeah.
um,
Do.
this
Let me
is where the
see.
code is.
Production.
You know what? I'm not going to get into the code right now. I'll just leave that there.
Let's see. Put this over here.
And while you plan it out, I'm going to show off. I got a new water bottle this week. Check it out. It's purple.
Where'd you get that from?
Target.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was solo parenting a bit because my husband was at my brother-in-law's bachelor party, and so I was just like, what if I just let my 1-year-old walk around Target for a long time? And she loves my water bottle so much so that I don't know where it is. And when she saw water bottles on a shelf and she started reaching for it, I was like, what a perfect excuse to get a new water bottle. How's that for
There's
a
never
mundane
there's never a
thing?
bad time to get a new water bottle.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Slickest word from our sponsors ever. Target better pay up. Dang it.
Yeah.
I should have called them up. Where's my check?
You see if I'm just going to ping the experts here.
No worries at all.
Is it
Purple is a good
possible?
color. Go Cats. Yes, go Wildcats. Northwestern Wildcats. I know you're talking about Kansas. It's fine. There's so many cats that are purple in the world. I can show off more things on my desk. I've got a bunch of dice where a lot of my team we're remote, and so sometimes I have a camera that can point directly at my dice, and we'll make team decisions based on the numbers, and so that's I always have dice handy.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
That's sort of
risky,
like
but
live randomization. Cloudflare. Have you heard about Cloudflare? How
oh,
they do
lava
the random,
lamps.
yeah, the random seed generator where they have a camera pointing at a wall of lava lamps, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
like as random as
fascinating.
physics allows.
Yeah, that like when I it's so cool that that is better than any other random number generator you could like program or something. It's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah, I think the other way to do it is measuring like radioactive decay.
Whoa.
It's like those are the things that are actually only random. Otherwise, everything else is just guessable.
Wow. That is wild.
Okay.
I also have a Pokemon fountain pen. This stand moves. I drop it every time I do this demo, so I'm trying to be very careful. But it's like a little Pokeball that like moves around on my desk, and it's a pen. My
All
desk is
right.
mostly just toys. Okay, have you figured it out? Huh?
I got a clue. I'm going to send it to you. There is a link. If you're on my team, which you are, and if you
Yes.
load my dashboard,
Haha. Funky. Yes, it worked.
brilliant. Talk to your dev change, convex. And then I'm going to give you, just to make sure, I think, yeah, I think you are actually, because, yeah, you're using the correct environment file. So that's why you are writing to my dev deployment. Okay, cool. So you can see
Nice.
stuff.
It's type safe, so I can't type the word fish. Nice.
It is
Okay.
it is type safe end to end, which is
So I
one.
can't mess up. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, cool. You added a huge number, 314159.
Yeah, I figured it's digits of pi. Wow, you can just keep going.
Yeah,
That's so cool. The fact that they're so in sync, they're I was expecting at least a little delay, but it's not.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I wonder if okay, we can't both share screen share at the
Yeah,
same time,
okay. So
because
you
that
share
that
now.
would be a
Not
that would be a real
that would be
test.
wild. Okay, but
That
yeah, okay. So now you go.
okay, okay. So let's see if we can add a space. I think like so we'll add some code that creates a new space. And so to do that, let's create some sort of input to our logged in layout. And again, this is using Nextauth, so auth.js.
Cool.
And so that there's a blog post out just today, and that repo was shipped just today.
Ooh, so it's
Okay,
all
so
fresh. Okay.
here we have our spaces. Yeah, it's super fresh. It's super fresh. So I went through it this morning, and I was like, a good opportunity to really put it through its paces. So a button, we're going to say, instead, we're going to do something like create a new space. And then the way that we get the functions from convex are first by defining them in our convex folder, which is the folder that is the thing that's basically watched by that client. And so
Got it.
right now, the numbers function is defined. Well, here's a query. So this is to list them all. And in this particular instance, it's also requiring authentication. So if we go down here, there's a mutation. So there's queries, mutations, and actions. And a mutation is when you're going to change something or write something. And so here we've defined a mutation, which will be part of our local convex API. And we'll access it based on this name. And we know it's a mutation. And then it takes in, you can define the arguments and you can enforce the types on the arguments. And now on the database side, you can define a schema or you can start schema lists, which I
Okay.
actually really like. Not because you should operate without a schema like in production, but when you're developing, you're just like, let me just
You
like
just
throw it.
you
Let
just
me
write
just
your code. Once again, we like to not start with diagrams and planning.
yes,
Just want to
let
be
me just
free.
put the whole document like Mongo this up.
Oh my gosh.
But the beauty is you can add anything, not enforced by a schema or anything, but then you can go into the convex dashboard and say like, just generate me that schema. So if you have like a large user object or something. It's got like a million properties. You don't have to type as much. It's wonderful. So here is our mutation implementation. It runs through the handler. Again, in this instance, because this is using auth, we are checking that the user is able to do this. In this case, it's just like, does the user exist? This is also where you would, in theory, be able to like check for roles and things like that. I think we have probably more coming on that in terms of like libraries and tutorials and things like that for role-based access. And so here we take the DB and then we just insert the number, and
Okay.
that's it. And so we called this add number, and I've created basically the same thing for spaces. So we have list spaces, then we have add space. So add space is going to be available as our API, and it's available because it was compiled into our generated API with some magic. So we can grab that using the hook. So we can do like add space, use mutation. We take it from the API, which is generated on the fly. And now we have this
API on the fly.
function.
Okay,
Our
go ahead.
API is on the fly. Now we have this function and we have defined it, and it'll all be like, you get all the IntelliSense and like autocomplete stuff because it's all typed, which is great because then we'll know what we have to put in here. And so if we want to do something like add space, we're going to go, when somebody clicks, I'm switched to a Windows PC. So I alternate, but I've used,
I switch between both two. I'm on my PC right now.
yeah. And I've come really close to being able to use power tools to get the key bindings identical, but not
Oh,
quite. But it's like super, super close. The only thing I have swapped is like jumping one word versus jumping the whole line. Anyway,
wow.
I'm getting there. It's super, super close. Okay, so now we can add space, and you can see it's showing us, it's giving us the the autocomplete here, which tells us exactly what we need. We could make these optional as well in our space schema, which is defined in our schema.ts. So here I've added, so here's the numbers schema. We can make these optional. So these could be like optional string or optional float. Right now, it doesn't actually matter if we do or do not, because we have schema validation set to false, which is
Oh,
where you
okay, that's
can,
nice.
that's where you can develop in a schemaless like flow. Stay on that flow,
Free
go
flow. Got it.
schemaless, just generate it at the end, get rid of everything that you don't need anymore, like all the foos, all the bars. And so we have capacity and name. So let us add those things. So if we go add space, finish typing that for me.
I love Copilot. Even if it's wrong, sometimes it's nice to just have like some of the stuff typed out and I can fix it.
Honestly, for in terms of like staying in like in the flow, like just drop the syntax in for me. You know, like
Right.
that's what I need. I'll fill everything else out.
Exactly.
So I wonder if we could just do something like this. Is that the way? Is it now? Yeah, I want it. What's wrong with this? It's using.
Whoa, I haven't tried that version of Copilot before. That's nice.
Yeah, only it took a while. It's sort of that like every error was like let Copilot fix this for you, and then you'd click on something and you'd be like, what the? It starts talking to me. But recently it's been doing this like inline suggestions, and
Huh.
again, it's things like that. It's like I guess now is not I had to do date. I had to do the brackets. That's it.
Oh, nice.
All right, so we have this button now, and it should be existing. Create new space. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's see if it works. I'm going to look at the. I'm going to keep an eye on my dashboard and see if everything is looking good. So create a space. Last book, it doesn't have it. Create a new space. It did work. And
Wow.
and you can see it's adding it to my, like, I have this. It's not the most like user. I don't know if I would stay at this space.
You're just like, am I going to get killed?
Yeah, space. What? That sounds interesting. It's so random.
Back many years ago when I was living in New York, I was like, I should get a hobby. I need to figure out like what hobbies do I want to get into? This was before I was really into like mechanical keyboards and stuff. And one of them on the list was knife throwing because I was like, that'd be cool to like have that ability. But the one place where I could find lessons was like in a random man's basement, and I was like, this is where people go to get killed. There's no way I can do this and stay alive.
It's
And
like, dude, of all the ways to like lure people to your basement, knife throwing?
yeah, and I guess like if someone does it, it's their own fault for falling for that. Maybe it's one of those things where it's so obvious that it's kind of self-selecting who gets murdered.
Yeah, I mean that's like okay, you're self-selecting. Okay, I wonder if
So that
like
being
this
said,
is
I am not into knife throwing now. Hey, at least you're armed. True, true. Bring your own knife. BYOK.
BYOK. Yeah, BYON. Oh, it is a K. Blah blah blah. Something like that. I just want to add a. I think if I
Yeah,
if I do that, I think that'll work.
it
It looks like
should.
it'll work.
It should. I have written so many blog posts on adding line breaks. I actually think I could find my exact blog post that would do this for you.
Oh,
Uh,
oh yeah, that would be nice. Maybe I'll just return like
yep,
a
I Googled
fragment.
it and it was literally the first one that popped up because I've run into that problem so many times that it is now my blog post that I find whenever I need it.
Okay, let me see.
In this blog post that I wrote literally two almost just over 2 years ago now, I've referred back to this dumb post so many times. I will put it in the chat if you want to see. Um, it's
Oh
handy
yeah.
for adding
Oh
those
yeah.
line breaks.
Yeah, that's right. Dangerously set.
I know.
It's like they don't want you to use that
I know.
just by the way that
Why are
they've
you
named
saying
it.
it's dangerous? Just let me live.
Yeah. Yeah, don't freak me out like that. It's never been dangerous for me. Okay, so if I do that like this, I'm gonna try this. Yay! I just returned a fragment instead. And so, okay. And now when I create new spaces, they'll show up. That's wonderful. I guess we should come up with a name for this space, which
Um,
which would require some kind of input.
Creativity. Oh, an input. That's smart too.
How do I? How do Copilot input me? This is so funny. It's like I've there's that Einstein quote who's like, I never remember anything because it's all in books. I
Mm,
I don't want to say I feel the same way like
I'm
Einstein.
basically Einstein, so
But the truth is, I let a lot of stuff go because I'm like, Copilot's got it.
mm.
Um, so let us get our input a type. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then we'll do something like, I think on this one we can do,
Also, if we ever didn't want to have an input and wanted to just make up names, I'm gonna plop this in the Twitch chat, but there's an NPM package called Friendly Words from the Glitch team, and it literally just comes up with a bunch of friendly words, and you can use them as like placeholders for stuff. So sometimes I
Oh, I
use it to
like
just like
that.
come up with random 3 words, and it's great.
I love that. Changed. So here we could use our classic, our standard issue use state.
All reliable.
That's it. Set space name. Did you ever watch
Also, it's an array, not curly brackets.
yes,
Did I ever watch?
30 Rock?
That is my number one favorite show of all time. I
Okay.
love 30 Rock.
Okay. Okay.
What were you going
Wonderful.
to quote? I'm ready.
Well, space name, and set space name reminds me of Dr. Spaceman,
Oh, of course.
who's
Dr. Spaceman.
Dr. Spaceman. It's Spaceman. 30 Rock is like
I
ridiculously brilliant. I
love
met
that show.
Tina Fey once and I didn't know who she was. Yeah. Yeah. We were like, yeah, didn't know who she was. And
What?
then it was like years later that I was like upset. Like 30 Rock was so ridiculously well written. Like one of my favorite shows.
I would
And
love any more context. What do you mean you just like was she out for a walk? Were you at
so,
at an event?
no, I was in, the movie Mean Girls. I was
Yes.
in that movie in the classroom scenes where she is the teacher.
You were in the
So
movie?
I was, yeah.
Why don't you lead with that in every conversation?
It's because I was an extra, and it was 21 years ago.
I'm I'm like the woman was too stunned to speak. Why
Yeah,
don't you say that every day?
I,
Yeah, how
I,
is this not the first thing on your resume?
well, it is.
Oh, good.
No, it's funny uh, when I was interviewing at Convex, Jamie, our CEO, had me found a reference of mine, an old CTO I worked with, and like called him up and they were chatting, and my old CTO was like at the end of the call was like, by the way, you should know, Tom was in Mean Girls. And then like they like ended the call, and Jamie was like, I got this like, he said this weird thing at the end about like you were in Mean Girls. Yeah, but I was an extra. It was super fun. I didn't know who Tina Fey was. I regret that because I think she's the most amazing. I don't think she would remember me. She did say hi though once.
Wow. I'm I'm shooketh. I'm also going to rewatch the movie and look for your face now. I'm assuming it looks about the same 21 years later. Yeah.
Yeah, identical.
Okay.
Like very, very similar. I had a shaved head and I was wearing an orange shirt and I was
Okay.
in the math class behind Lindsay Lohan and over one, chewing on a pencil and things like that. And then I was in the Halloween scene as well. I was the firefighter in the Halloween scene.
How did like I'm really so convex is so cool. Don't get me wrong. Love talking about convex. How did I would love to know more about any of
Yeah,
this. Like what
I'm happy to talk about it.
so
Yeah.
were you in the Chicago area filming?
So they shot half the movie in Toronto
Got it.
and half in Chicago. So I was in most of the Toronto. I didn't go to Chicago, so I was in
Okay.
many of the scenes that they were shooting in and around Chicago, which included Gretchen's big mansion house,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like next to Drake's house now in Toronto. And they did like the cafeteria scenes were in Chicago or LA, so I wasn't there. I didn't get to meet Rachel McAdams, but I did meet the rest of them, like Lacey Chabert and
Amanda Seyfried?
yes,
Don't you mean convex is so fetch? Oh, we're fetching all right. Ha 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 ha. You can make such incredible jokes about fetch with your background and with APIs. This
yeah.
should be, oh my gosh, the pun opportunities. Wow.
It's yeah. I yep, yep. The thing is, like many people, the reference is lost on them.
Dang it.
Stop trying to make fetch. I'm 21 years later,
Yeah.
still trying to make fetch happen, and I will. I will not give up.
Man, yeah, no, I suppose the Venn diagram of developers and Mean Girls enthusiasts is like not the it's not a circle. Wow.
Sorry for the slowness of development.
No worries. I'm happy to speak about other things. Do you still wear pink on Wednesdays?
The movie was like when we were making it. I remember just being like, I didn't really get it. I was like, okay. I mean, I don't get the script or anything like that, and I was just like, what? Like,
It's like
okay,
I just gonna sit eating a pencil.
yeah, like it's super relaxed. And then when it came out, it was like, oh my God, this
You're just
movie's
like,
amazing. This movie's
oh,
so good. And I was like, Tina Fey? Who's Tina Fey? I was like, oh, Saturday Night Live. Yes, I've heard of those words. Oh, okay. She was head right. Yeah, okay, right. Got it. Wonderful. She was very famous, and I am almost glad I didn't know who she was because I would have
I
made a fool of myself, probably got fired.
I am I am I am shooketh. That's amazing. That being said, if you like 30 Rock, Girls 5 Eva is like the latest show that she's working on, and it's one of the funniest shows I've seen since 30 Rock, if not the
Excellent.
funniest. It's spectacular. It's very, very 30 Rock style humor, SNL 30 Rock absurd humor, where it's about a girl group from the 90s trying to make a comeback, but they're all like in their 40s now, and hilarity ensues. And so Tina Fey like writes for it and produces it with her husband, and like I think their daughter is in it, and Paula Pell is in it, Sarah Bareilles. It's a very funny show, and they just brought it to Netflix, and it's on Peacock too.
Oh,
This is
that's
the wildest,
fantastic.
most random thing I've witnessed on a stream. Same, yeah. What a time! I'm going
Those
to
were the
tell everyone I
days.
know.
Those were the
Yeah.
days. I am my shoulder. There's the like. It's October 3rd or whatever. Um, We'll put a number input as well. My shoulder is in that meme, so I get shit. My friends and family share that with me a lot in October, because it's that. It's like zooming in on
Yeah, I
Lilo.
tweet that meme every October 3rd.
Back in the day, I wasn't cut out from it, but it's gone through so many edits over
So
the
many
years.
edits and iterations. You're the orange shirt.
I'm the orange shirt.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That that is that is amazing. I love finding like I've now met two people in the tech industry who are a part of like some fairly significant memes on the internet, and so yeah, you're one of them. The other one, do you know the company Mux? They do video streaming and stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
their co-founder, the two co-founders, they are in a really famous Vine where it was like the Vine is like two best friends sitting in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Like that, like that's the Vine.
Yeah.
That those are the co-founders of Mux.
That's hilarious. Oh,
It's so
Vine.
funny. Yeah,
Oh,
no, like
Vine.
I was talking with him and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm in a meme." And I'm just like, "What?" And he's just like, "Yeah, that's me." They they really caught us at an awkward time because like we were sitting 5 feet apart, but it wasn't like meaning anything. We had just finished playing Marco Polo and we were really tired. It was just such a funny thing that came up in a meeting.
That's so funny. Vine, I think, disproportionately launched a lot of careers.
It really did. Yeah. Rest in peace, Vine. I
Shawn
guess
Mendes, he was a Vine celebrity.
Oh, I don't think I realized that. Man,
Do-do-do-do. Value. Oh yeah, it's got to be a string.
this whole time we're here listening to the orange shirt guy. That's the top comment in here.
I know. Could you imagine?
Ah,
Those
now
were
we
the
know.
days. Value.
I promise I've been reading your code this whole time. I'm not just sitting here thinking about Mean Girls and Tina Fey.
Oh, excellent. Oh man, my autocomplete is as number a thing. How do we take a string and turn it into a
I think it's
number?
two integer, isn't it?
Chat, chat. We need you.
Oh,
Can we?
parse int. Parse int.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I was thinking about my Java days. Haven't thought about those in a while. Oh
Java.
yeah, or
Yes.
you could wrap it in number.
Oh,
The guy who made that vine from the elevator? Which one is that?
elevator. Wrap it in number.
Huh. Yeah, Vine. Good times. TikTok isn't the same. It's similar, but not different type of joy.
Yeah, it's not as like happy-go-lucky, silly,
Yeah.
like light feeling.
Yeah, it feels more like consume your brain, which it's very good at, but
Space with capacity 6. Let's see if that works. Yep.
Watermelon Raj asks, I have a genuine question. Do you get tired of writing the same React boilerplate code every time? I feel like I'm getting worn out. That is
Yes.
where Copilot helps.
Yeah. I do for sure. So I'm often and regularly looking for the best boilerplate repositories out there
Mm,
that match my needs, which so if they have like a choice of frameworks and things like that, that's always good. But yeah, absolutely. Copy and paste, Copilot. React, I think, is getting comparatively more verbose to other competitive frameworks out there, like Vue and things like that require way less boilerplate. But yeah, for sure, there's a lot.
have do
Rep is
y'all remember
yes.
Yeoman? YEOMAN.io?
Rings a bell.
That it used to be a really, really
Yeah.
great just boilerplating tool. And I shouldn't say used to be. I'm sure it still works, but it hasn't been maintained in many years now. But you could basically just do yo build or whatever, and there was like thousands of projects that you could pull from where it would just like start a React app, an Angular app, a whatever app with various things. And it was really nice to have all of those boilerplates just in one
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah. I think like the trick is too is provide making it be flexible enough that it can interact
Yeah.
dynamically with like this auth and like this front end framework, and it all the permutations are just like best practice designed. And I there's people out there who built things like that, but the amount of maintenance that must go
The
into that over
maintenance. Yeah.
months and years, like I get why people wouldn't want to stick with that for like years on end. It's just a
Right.
crazy amount of work.
Yeah. No, like now if you go to Astro, they have their own templates. If you go to React, there's their own Next has their own templates. It makes sense that all of those templates are now basically just owned by the stacks that run them. But it was
Mhm.
nice to have them all in one place while people were thanklessly maintaining it for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so back to the app. So
Yes.
let's add one more thing,
Okay.
one more function.
I'm ready.
Okay. let's see here. Yeah, Mr. Disagree, you're correct. I'm not doing a lot of this, especially in the JSX with best practice. Like the inputs should be a form, and all of that would be the better way to do it. So let's take our spaces and do something interesting with them, like take an action on them. What kind of action would we take on a space? We could, I guess we could
Join?
also upload. Well, I was thinking, so a next step would be to associate the space with a user
Right.
using the viewer ID. So that would be the logged in user, and and that way we could then like query. Then you could have like your friend list, and it could just filter on that, and all that good stuff. Okay, so there's another really easy. I'm trying to think about like what's a really useful thing. So like that I think is like there's a pattern there that's
Right.
fairly well understood or could be pieced together. But there's we can also do image uploads or file uploads super easily as well.
It would be kind of fun to like take a picture and be like, I'm bringing chips.
Yeah, exactly. And these are them.
These are the chips.
Yeah. And so we can add some simple file uploads. And the way that it works is that Convex gives us a short-lived, unique URL to post our file to
Okay.
every time we want to make an upload, and then we can attach that file, whatever the file ID is, to any of the other bits of data, and then pull that file down when we want to either download it or show it, depending on whatever it is. So here in the file storage, we will start with uploadstuff.dev. That's cool. So we generate our upload URL, and then we take like a file from a form, and we just post it there, and then we'll be able to get back the file ID and the file URL. So let's grab this.
Could you share that doc URL in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so let's add this mutation that generates the upload URL, which uses the convex context. That gets me. It uses the convex context, which has a number of useful functions relating to auth and the database and storage. And so here, let's make sure that this is all still happy. Yep, so it's compiling that and deploying that to Convex. And so now we can get our upload URL from our page. I'm doing this from memory, and I think it's like
I'm very impressed.
input type file? Avatar. No, it's chips. ID.
Could be a snack.
ID, a snack. Yeah, unless type safe.
You can only
Real life
have
type
chips.
safe. Yeah. Snack. I think I need to create a ref to that somewhere, right, as well. Somehow, some way. To that file. Okay, so there's that. But then we can also use this URL. So let's go back here.
I
Right.
like this uploadstuff.dev. That's a cool library. And great domain name.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah. File uploads for all developers. I mean, perfect. Nailed it. Okay, so let's go. User, so selected image, state. Yeah, that's right. It's a file. Upload URL. And finally, send image. You do selected file.
I'm skimming the docs as you're implementing this. It's cool how simple it is. Like simple to me, challenging on the other end, but I like that it's straightforward.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like the ergonomics are nice. I find like the more time I'm spending with it, there's the surface area is fairly limited, and you get so much out of it as well. So let's take our selected file, and this is going to be what, like on, what is it, on change? On file select? Probably on change, right?
I like when TypeScript like temporarily yells at you and you're like,
Not done yet.
I,
Yeah,
I, I
yeah,
got this.
yeah. Don't interrupt. Like, come on, you're breaking my train of thought. Okay, set selected file. Sure, totally. This is what it auto completed. I'm going to go with that. That's great. Set selected file. And once that's set, I think we could probably use, well, I guess we have the selected file, and then we have a button. Maybe we add a upload button.
Ooh, yeah, smart.
I mean, we could tie this all together. Like, there's probably
Yeah,
there may or may not be like a nicer way to like create a form like this. It's beyond
probably
me.
is. It's okay. It's a cool demo, and I'm eating it up.
All right, so here we want the generate. We want this generate upload URL. Generated upload URL. But actually, what spaces? All right, and then what we want to do in our action, we're going to take our URL, and I'm pretty sure we can just post it, basically. What do we do here? File? Selected file?
Why is it mad? Oh, that would do it. I don't know if you can do that in an on click. I think you have to like wrap it in another function.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, so
Eh.
yeah, so I'm just going to do, again, it's probably for the best that it's like this.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, this is not, we're not demonstrating best practices here. We're showing off cool things that Convex can do, and we're having
Yeah.
a good time. We're chatting about
All the
TFA,
things.
all the
Yeah.
things, upload file. Everything but this. Generated, uploaded. Oh, generated. Yeah.
Words are hard. That's fine.
Doesn't like this one.
Why?
So let's see what the example has to say. Image input. Yeah, it's going to need a ref. That's a good one. We'll just accept images, no other files.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I recently made an app where I first used Electron and then I ported it to Tauri, and like accepting certain files and stuff is it can be like slightly different depending on what you use. And whew, getting into the weeds with the Rust side of things was a little hairy.
In Rust?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool, but I was also just like, I'm lost. Help! I was harassing them on Discord to figure out how to make it all work.
I've been diving into Rust. Most of Convex is written in Rust, and so I've
Oh,
been.
nice, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So the Convex backend is open source. So it's like 200,000 lines of Rust with some TypeScript,
Huh.
and you can run it locally if you want. I put up a video on that on YouTube. But more interesting for me is like going through the code and understanding how a big complex system like this is built, and then like also getting a good look at Rust in production. I I think I drank the Kool-Aid a little bit, and like I got a Rust book, and I'm like, yeah,
This
this
is
is
it.
powerful. This is it. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. No, Towery has been really, really cool to work with. I don't know if you've poked at it at all. Um, I think is it .app.dev? It's app. Towery.app. I'll plop that in the chat as well. Um,
Towery. Yeah, that's right.
it's it was nice to build with. My Electron app went from 300 megabytes to 12, which
Yeah,
is wild.
yeah, yeah. It's like if for size and performance, it's like this. The next couple decades, C language, I think, is kind of what it's poised to replace. They
Yeah.
started writing or they started porting the Linux kernel and writing it new parts of it in Rust.
Really? I don't
Yeah,
think I
which
realized that. Dang.
yeah, yeah, which is next level. Where's our post URL? Ah, yeah, I gotta get the
Sorry, I'm
post.
distracting you.
I like this. This is a solid challenge.
You built your last app with Convex and it scaled very well. Nice. Hassan in the chat likes it. We're poking around with it. It's cool.
Did you build?
Yeah, what did you build? Yeah, plop the link.
Let's go, Nutlope. I want to see it. Generated.
Oh, I saw you tweet about this. Notes GPT. It seems cool. It lets you record voice notes.
Oh, nice. And then transcribes them?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, hey, Chad. I see Chad in the chat. That's one of my real life friends that isn't in tech. And I'm always like slightly jarred where I'm just like, oh, people from real life seeing me in my natural habitat.
Strange, right? There's a
Yeah.
reason I'm not streaming this on my Facebook. I think my
Yeah,
mom would be texting me.
exactly. No, yeah.
All right, so we'll just print
Oh
this
no, I'm
out
being
when it's
perceived.
done.
Exactly. These are people who I like grab pizza with. I
I'm
don't
being
talk about code.
perceived.
It's fine.
Yeah, to be human.
Mm, I'm used to being transparent. It's fine.
All right, yes, this is it. I need the ref. are limiting this to image, so that kind of does make sense. Then it wipes it out. So after we upload it, we get rid of it, get rid of the reference, start again.
This is the part that feels the most like challenging, but once it works, it's very handy.
Like with regards to file uploads?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Handle send. I know there's always just like as it starts involving like the refs and things like that, and
Yeah.
getting your like URL access to the file on your computer for your browser like URI. Like if you select an image and you have it stored in a ref, and you want to preview that image like as the one you've selected before it's uploaded, you have to get
Oh gosh, yeah.
like a blob or something like or from its URI, and then you basically like show it so the browser kind of gatekeeps your access to that file.
Right. Rightly so.
Yeah. And I remember trying to set that up because I didn't want to wait for the upload to complete to be able to preview the image. Like I wanted it to look and feel really
Right.
instant. And it was like a whole rabbit hole. Although once it worked, it worked.
Yeah. That was actually a big thing with that app that I told you about, where it was Electron to Towery, where it was nice because I could get like the path of the file and certain features of a file because it exposes it as a desktop application. But if you try to do something like that in the browser, it's
Yeah.
very
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Rightfully so. Right. The browser is the gatekeeper to everything. Okay, so I'm going to just take a bunch of this. We'll see if we can get this going, and we'll
all
call it.
development is rabbit holes. That is an incredibly fair and true comment.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then when the thing is done, it's sort of like looking at like a abstract painting where you're like, I could do that.
Yeah. Easy. There's so many projects where I'm just like, I know exactly how to build it, but I have to write so much code. And
Yes,
yeah.
so many projects like that. Handle send image. That's not, and we're gonna call it our snack. It's gonna take the form.
Mhm. It seems close.
Let's set our send images. Write the storage
Oh, that's such a true statement.
identifiers.
The payoff when you find the bottom of the rabbit hole is why I keep coming back. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like one of the most just coding and building is like one of the most challenging, like puzzling, frustrating, difficult, satisfying, rewarding things.
Yeah, yeah. Like the entire time you're just like, I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. Why am I doing this? And at the end, you're like, I'm a genius.
I'm a
I have
literal
done it.
genius. Hey, mom,
But there have been times where I've
you were
called my
right.
yeah, love me again. Yeah, no, there have been actual times where I've called my mom and talked about it, and she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm very happy for you. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you don't understand. This is a big deal.
All right, let's get this. What's our handle? This is it. I'm just gonna take this. Don't need this. That's to associate our image with, like if it were like an avatar or something like that, we could associate our image with a user. So I'm just gonna grab the handle send image. We'll grab a form of it.
My poor wife has endured countless hours of architectural breakdowns over the years. A saint. I'm very grateful that my
Same.
husband is technical because there are certain things where we can say, like, "This is what I did," and we're like, "Whoa, that's sick."
Yeah, that's
Um,
so sick.
yeah.
File, and then we are
Okay.
just going to write out the
Nice. Sure.
storage ID. So the storage ID is the way that you would get this file back from Convex. And so you could do
Okay.
with that what you will. You typically would store it in its own table with some references or some way for you to
Gotcha.
filter and
So you
find it
just
again.
if you can point at the ID, you point at the image?
Exactly.
Got it.
That's it. So you can associate it with like a user or a bag of chips or whatever you want.
Mm.
Okay, so handle send image. I got one more thing to update here before I guarantee this will work. First try,
Guarantee?
no matter what.
Oh, heavens. What a guarantee.
I okay. I have to convert this WebP file though.
Oh, okay.
This is like you ever see people on the internet who are like, why not just use WebP? It's like the modern everything. It's optimized for this because literally
'Cause
it
it's
doesn't
terrible.
open.
Like
It
like
doesn't
like,
open
yes,
anywhere.
it's the modern thing, but if I wanna download it, if I wanna use it, if I wanna, like, it's not a thing yet. It's not
Yeah,
properly standard everywhere yet. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah. So I'm gonna try to. Okay, I'm gonna say all that in a bag of chips. Bag of chips. Image. What's your favorite kind of chips?
Ooh. I gotta say the first thing that popped into my head was Doritos. So that's probably it. Like, I like a whole lot of chips, but man, Doritos are pretty good. What about
I'm way
yours?
up. Yeah, I'm way up there with Doritos too. Cool
Mhm.
Ranch,
Yes. Absolutely,
it's
yes.
like the best chip in existence.
It's so
Um,
good.
we have ketchup chips here,
You
and
do? Yeah.
yeah, and my brother who's in California always gets ketchup chips when he's back visiting because apparently most of the states it's not a thing.
It is not. I had it for the first time in Montreal, not last year, but the year before. So a little under 2 years ago. I visited Montreal for the first time, and I had ketchup chips, and I get it. It's not something that I'll probably seek out actively, but I saw it and I was just like, "Okay, I get it." Would rather have Doritos, Cool Ranch, but yeah.
Yeah, Doritos are amazing. I've even discovered some people don't consider Doritos chips because they're corn chips
Yeah.
instead of potato chips. Like
Yeah.
it's still chip.
That's a chip.
Okay, browse is disabled. Oh, it didn't work.
Dang it, but you guaranteed.
It
What of the
was a
guarantee?
it was a conditional guarantee. It goes with handle send image. What doesn't it like
Doritos
about
Loco
this?
Shells and double-decker tacos at Taco Bell? Heck yes. I miss double-decker tacos at Taco Bell. You guys have Taco Bell in Canada, right?
Yeah,
Yeah? Yeah? Do you
yeah.
do you do you have the Doritos Locos tacos?
I don't know. We have Taco Bell. I don't know anybody who's ever been to one.
I see. So you think you're better than me? That makes sense. It's fine.
There is a Taco Bell in town. What doesn't it like about this? Oh, is it async? Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. I have a snack bag of Cool Ranch Doritos in your backpack. Wow. And they were free from a work conference. That's even better. Free chips. Ooh. International Taco Bell is better. Honestly, international any fast food is better. Like whenever I've gone to McDonald's in like Spain, not that I go to McDonald's in Spain, but like you look at the menu, so much better. The options. I remember when my husband is from Korea, and so we visited his family in Korea, and we were asking like, "Hey, where should we grab food?" And so many of his cousins were just like Burger King, and we're like, "We got that at home," but not like that. Where They had like bulgogi burgers with kimchi and stuff.
Yeah.
It so good at a
Yeah.
Burger
Why do
King.
we just
Man.
get the basics here?
Yeah, and another person that we met up with there, they had McDonald's churros, and we're like, churros at McDonald's? Okay, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, everybody goes here. You get a churro and some ice cream, and then you go sing karaoke." And we're like, "Okay," and it was fantastic.
I need I gotta enlist the chat here. Why?
Why is why is my guarantee not guaranteed? Especially because we're almost at the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to like get this file in there.
Yeah,
Let me see
it's
if I
like
can
Jollibee. You
find.
hear about it a ton, but there's only so many shops open in the U.S. Yeah, no, Jollibee is delicious. We've got three in Chicago, and one is like it's close enough. I could walk there. Driving's a little faster, but they've got like dark meat chicken with gravy, and oh, it's good.
Promise
Okay,
returning function provided to
I'm
attribute or
looking.
void. Oh, so I'm returning something incorrectly. I shouldn't be returning anything.
I don't see a return in here though.
Oh, is it just that it's not like, yeah, I don't see a return in here either.
You have Jollibee's, but you've never been. Go there and get the chicken. It's good.
Misused promises. I'm not, it's just, yeah. Okay. Thank you. It returns a promise
Do you have to resolve something?
because do I just have to return? No, it's not going to like that. Yeah, that's right. They all return a promise, but it doesn't want it. Yeah. Okay.
Excuse
Well,
me.
it's going to, it's going to learn to live with it is what it's going to do. All right. Ketchup
Chips.
chips.
Did I like?
We got our we got our
Oh, wrap
ID.
it in a
Oh,
non-async function. Oh, that's kind of like we were talking about that earlier, where you have to wrap it in just a function.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. So I thought I tried that, and then it still was whining. Sing some brackets here. But
And it needs the argument. Oh,
why did you do?
you could. It wouldn't work, but you could.
Oh, not yeah. I want not brackets.
I think the brackets were fine.
Yeah, the brackets were fine.
Why is it mad? Yeah, try that. Yeah, yeah.
This is gonna be one of those things where I
But
restart VS Code and it's
oh
all
yeah,
good.
no, like it'll be
Like
like
it's
2 minutes after the stream, and you'll be like, "This was it."
yeah. I think it's. I'm gonna say it's probably a bug in the linter.
Hmm.
Is complaining.
Yeah,
Not, yeah,
ESLint
that's
is
right.
complaining that TypeScript. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Okay, good. That's fine. Yeah, so that works. The rest of this, uh, this all, this
So
all
much of
works
development
here.
is like, who's complaining? Is it the linter?
Yeah, it's just a
Is it the
whack-a-mole of like
compiler?
zip it up.
Is it
This
me?
is form cannot be a descendant. Yeah, yeah, that's what no big issue there. So, yeah. So anyway, okay, cool. Let me close this down. Cassidy, you are a tremendous pairing partner. You make this a lot more fun while I'm wrestling with
This was cool. No,
random
I
linting
I
errors.
I learned a lot about things that I didn't expect to.
Yeah. So if I might clean this up and then post the repo. I'll share the I'll share the link to this repo as is. When you start to think a compiler is wrong, it's time for a walk. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. Cassidy, thank you so much. It was very fun.
It was so fun. Thank you so much for having me.
You have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you
You
everybody so much
too.
for watching and participating in the chats. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Let's do this again sometime.
Definitely.